Tell you the idea of the police is a great idea and all. I did talk to a policeman the other day. He's been on the force about 25 years as supervisor, and he is actually opposed to it because of different reasons. I think we need to address our police department and the cops on the beat, as well as the county sheriff's deputies, as to how it can be done, if we should do it, and why. Other services, yes, we don't need duplication of services, just like school districts. We have a problem with that, a lot of people do, of too many school districts, too much administration, not enough on the ground taken care of. So, yes, the answer is yes. If it makes good business sense, it saves money, and it serves you better, yes.
Good.
Yes, I support the consolidation of services, and I think we ought to take a serious look at consolidation of government. I would not use a question had Augusta and Richmond County as a good example. I'd use Jacksonville, Charlotte, Oklahoma City, and Louisville as good models. If we were to consolidate Columbia with Richland County, we go from being roughly the 189th largest city in the country to being top 55. So for some of us who follow community development block grant funding or stimulus dollars and the flow of funds into your community, that's significant. For those of us who are interested in economic development or tourism development, that's also significant. My mother lives on the street where half the city's in the county and half's in the city. I always joke about the trash truck coming up one side of the street one day and the other side of the street the other day. And she told me, no, Steve, it's the same day. We can end waste and duplication in government, reduce taxpayer burden, and provide a much more efficient system of government for our taxpayers if we seriously look at consolidation of government.
Okay, short answer. So you're saying consolidate, have one mayor and one council for the county, for the whole county?
Yes, I'm saying I support both. The question was consolidation of services. Right. I support consolidation of services. I also believe we should take a serious and strong look at consolidation of government.
Okay, Ms. Clark?
Wow. I agree with consolidation of services. It's going to save us money, definitely. The one thing that I think of, I don't mean to be the devil's advocate, but workers, I want to bring them to the round table. You know, what are their ideas? Because I talked to firefighters, I talked to police officers. You know, there's a lot of different ideas out there. As a leader, though, I would want them, you know, with their voice in this. You know, who's going to lead? It's going to be rough. The waste consolidation, though, I think is wonderful because where I am, and I go down to the river at lunch every day, I see litter container going up this way and the city of Columbia trash truck going this way on the same street on the same day. You're right. It's ridiculous. It's too much pollution.
It's fairly consolidation of services.
County city fire works wonderfully. That's the model we need to expand under. First step needs to be that we have EMS under the same agreement. It is ridiculous that a firefighter cannot drive an ambulance easily in Richland County. Then we need to proceed to look at the sheriff's department and police department. Why a 1,000-person force is more effective than a 400 and a 600-person force. Take a drug unit. 2-person unit in the city, 4-person unit in the county becomes a 6-person unit countywide. It also allows for enforcement of laws across the city and county boundaries. You know, the difference in the city and the county on trash collection is that the county uses private vendors, the city does its own. That's going to be an issue that we've got to walk into carefully because there are a lot of people whose lives and livelihoods depend on that. Finally, on landfills, the city has already put a bid out. In fact, our landfill cost right now, as I understand it, are slightly below the county's. I think we ought to be using the lowest provider for that cost.
Time's up. Mr. Johnson.
You've already heard all the reasons why I would support consolidation, but I don't think now at this particular moment is the best time to do it because I feel like we need to get all of our ducks in a row first. I think we need to be moving in the same direction. I'm not talking about Mr. Finley when I say this, but the leadership in this city is currently not the sort of people that I would want pushing this kind of an agenda forward because as long as we're chasing our tails with these high-risk, poorly conceived get-rich-quick schemes like the TIFs, as long as we don't have the support of the people in their hearts and minds, then I don't want to see something huge like this undertaken. I'd like to make sure that we have a good, strong base of leadership in City Council and with the mayor before we start moving forward on this, because otherwise it's just going to be a catastrophe, it's going to be a disaster, we'll get 70% done with it, like Mr. Finley says, and it'll all fall apart, and I think it'd be a disaster. So we need to get strong leadership in the city and then start talking about what we can bring to the table as a strong city to the other parts of our region.
Who are you talking about, Mr. Johnson?
Anybody that voted for the TIF. Anybody that supports the TIFs.
Mr. Morrison.
Anybody under the curtain, right there.
Unfortunately.
Consolidated services is the path to ultimately consolidated government. You're aware, and I'm aware, of at least 6 studies done about every 10 to 20 years, sitting in City Hall, blue ribbon panels saying consolidate government, and it hasn't happened. So let's take a look at how the citizen experiences the service. If the citizen experiences a consolidated service, we have a consolidated 911 right now. If the citizen got a dispatch, the closest car, the sheriff or the Forest Acres or the city police, doesn't matter to me who shows up as long as they show up damn fast, right? So if we consolidate services, then we avoid the politics of consolidated government and consolidated command structure and so forth. Same way, let's pick who's going to drive down the road at the borders. Consolidate services. Let's pick the appropriate landfill. Consolidate services. The county has the same financial problems we have. City and county both are in a downturn economically. Let's talk about how we save money working together. Ultimately, the more the citizen experiences transparent services, the more likely we are to consolidate government.
Mr. Myers.
Yes, I'm going to go to Mr. Azar and my buddy Aaron over here. I'm for anything that allows the city to function better. Right now, however, our city is challenged. We have a perception of not being able to do anything correctly. So before we can go to the table, in my mind, we have to go to the table in a position of strength. We've got to get our ducks in order. We've got to make sure that we know exactly what's coming in, what's going out, what's the status of everything we're doing, what we're trying to accomplish, which is crucial. Then show that we can work and function as a city. Then I'm ready to have these other discussions with either the county and eventually with the region. But we've got to fix Columbia first. Thank you.
Mr. Wilson.
I'm not really in favor of consolidation because I think we need to raise the bar on our expectation of services from people. I like to use very simple analogies because I like to be crystal clear. We have McDonald's and we have Burger King. They both sell burgers and fries, but they both make each other stay up on a standard when they come in an area. I would never want to lose that constructive competitive edge that we would have to create a more conducive service in our areas. Regardless if it's city or county, we still got four in county. I think Kirkman mentioned 2 in city. They are crime fighters for the state and for our city. So 2 and 4, 6 and 6, regardless to how it is. So we all need to work collectively, and then we need to stay consistent and just have a higher expectation of what we have in place.
This